This little unit's been charging my van conversion for over 2 years now, and it's never skipped a beat.
G'day guys, Jake here from Journey Van Builds. If you're trying to figure out your first 12 volt electrical system, you've probably already realized it's a lot to wrap your head around. And even once you think you're getting a hang of things, it's still really difficult to know which specific components are going to work together in your system. For me, one of the biggest breakthrough moments I had was discovering the Renogy 2-in-1 DC-DC and solar battery charger. 2 years later, after putting this thing in multiple builds now and having lived with it full time on the road, I can confidently say it's one of the best upgrades you can put in your van conversion. Today, I'm going to run you through exactly how this charger works, why I keep choosing it, and how it's going to make your van life so much easier. Let's jump into it. So what does it actually do? In simple terms, this little box replaces two of your charging components in your setup. So it takes care of your DC to DC charging, which is charging your leisure battery via the alternator of your car while the engine is running. And it's also an MPPT, which is the most efficient kind of solar charge controller you can get, squeezing about 25% more energy from your solar panels than the old school PWM units or pulse width modulator units. It's just a slightly newer technology, so it's really cool as well that this 2-in-1 system has the better of those two components as well. So instead of wiring and paying for two separate units, Renogy has combined both of those into one little box that just does its job in the background without you even having to think about it. So you're probably thinking to yourself right now, that's fantastic, but is it actually compatible with my system? The good news is this thing is really compatible. Any kind of general 12 volt systems that you'll find in most van conversions, this is going to do the job. So all of your main battery types that you'll find, whether it's AGM, lead acid, gel, or most importantly lithium, this thing is compatible and it's going to do the job. And it's also compatible with your smart alternators. So if you have an older car or a newer car, it's going to work with the traditional alternator and smart alternators as well. And on that note, it actually protects your car's starter battery as well. So while it does take power from the alternator while the engine is running, it will not allow your leisure system to draw any power from your car's starter battery. So it's protecting that charge there. And in fact, when your leisure battery is completely full, this will pick up on that and actually start to trickle charge power back into your car's starter battery if you have solar coming in, which is a really cool little side benefit as well. So as far as your solar arrays go, it works with 12 volt solar panels as well as 24 volt, and it can handle multiple solar panels as well. You'll just need to look into how you are wiring up your system if you have multiple panels as far as connecting them in parallel or series goes, but that's another video, so I won't touch on that now, but it is compatible with 12 and 24 volt, and you can have a couple of panels on there as well. For the 13 amp option, I recommend about a 180 volt panel is really good. Up to like 250 volt is really good as well. For the 50 amp option, you can have a couple of panels on there. Obviously, you know, size it to your needs. And just quickly, I will pop the link to the 30 amp option and the 50 amp option in the description below, so you're able to check those out and have a look at the specs while you're watching along. So how fast will this thing charge your battery? Now, there are a lot of variables with charging, including solar conditions, the size of your alternator, and the condition of your battery. But in general terms, while driving with the DC to DC charging doing most of the grunt work, the 50 amp model of this charger can charge a 100 amp hour battery in about 2.5 to 3 hours in perfect conditions. Now, we all know that in reality, that's never quite going to be the case. So the way that these chargers work on the road is you've got 50% of the allocated amperage dedicated to DC-DC charging and 50% dedicated to your solar charging. So that means the 50 amp hour model, for example, here actually means you've got 25 amps for DC-DC and 25 for solar. Now, that's really good because it prioritizes solar charging as well, which is going to give you nice, clean, reusable energy, which is fantastic. What you are able to do though, if you wanted to get a little bit of a quicker charge, if you've had a few average days, overcast days as far as solar is concerned, or you've just run flat and you really need to get a quick charge while driving, then you're actually able to install a little on-off switch between your solar and the charger to kind of trick the charger into thinking it's nighttime, and it will shut off the solar component and dedicate all of its resources to DC-DC charging. So the 50 amp hour option here could theoretically charge 50 amps from DC-DC. If you're interested in getting a better understanding of exactly how much power your system is going to need and how much this box can produce for you, then you should definitely check out my van conversion guide on my website at journeyvanbuilds.com. It's going to run you through exactly how to size your system and which one of these products is going to be the best fit for your system. So the next question is, how easy is this thing to use? The good news is that's where this product really shines for first-time van builders. So you simply make your 4 connections, then select the battery type that you are using in your system with your leisure battery, and it goes. It doesn't need any programming or charge profile inputs. There is a Bluetooth app which you can use, but you don't need to. You literally just plug this thing in and it starts charging. On a side note as well, something that is really beneficial is if your whole system does go completely flat, which happens from time to time, some chargers will require you to restart the charger. Whereas this unit, as soon as it detects an input from your DC-DC or solar, it just kicks back into life and starts pumping power back into your system, which is really good. It's really set and forget kind of stuff. Now, I do really quickly want to touch on the install process for this unit because it is one of the huge benefits of it, how simple this really is. The next video I do is going to be on how to connect this into a basic 12 volt system for your camper van. So definitely check that out if you're interested in using this product. But I do really quickly want to show you just how easy they have made things with this unit. So looking up the top here, it says PV+, which is photovoltaic, which is just a fancy way of saying solar. So in this corner, you've got your solar positive coming in from your solar panel. In the corner down here, you've got your alternator positive, so that's DC-DC charging, the positive wire coming from your car's starter battery. Then down the bottom here on this side, you have your positive out. So that's running from the unit directly to your leisure battery to pump your charge into that battery. And then up in this corner, you have the common negative. So all of those components coming from your solar, from your car's starter battery, and from your leisure battery's negative, all of those negatives can run into this one bolt, which is keeping things really, really simple. Now, there are a few workarounds for that. If you want to keep your system or your cable management a little bit neater, you can sort of piggyback your negatives in some other ways to keep things tidy. But again, that's for another video. But if you were to want to just keep it as simple as possible as a first-time builder, then you can do that. Just run everything into this one negative and you're not having to worry about anything else. It's just 4 big, easy to use bolts, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward really. So if you think this unit would fit your 12 volt system, I've got the links to the 30 and the 50 amp hour options in the description for you below, as well as a 10% off discount code, which I've negotiated with Renogy Australia. That's Journey10 at checkout for 10% off your entire order, which is really, really cool. And like I said, my next video is going to be on my installation process for these exact units. So if you're a little bit nervous about how you're making these connections, your fuse placements, anything like that, definitely check that out and I'll walk you through it. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one.